Pete had an incredible wild card round, 3 of 6 on his bold predictions, 50% bold predictions. Great. Pete made 4 bold predictions in the divisional round. Let's see how they went. In the Texans and Ravens, you said what, Pete?
The two quarterbacks will combine to throw for 575.
That is a ton of yardage for that means Lamar Jackson is slinging it. They did not quite get there. 327.
The weather was a factor. It was a little worse than I thought it was.
What's crazy, 327 combined passing yards. The crazy part is that CJ Stroud threw the ball 14 times in the second half for 44 yards.
Yeah, he didn't play very well. And they struggled. They had way too many pre-snap penalties to kind of ruin drives. And Bobby Slowick had a great week the week before. He didn't have such a good week this week.
A lot of first down runs.
I hated he needed to dictate tempo, and I hated the trick play. They had rhythm. They were in a rhythm. Then he ran that stupid trick play and took him out of it. I didn't like that call at all. So I think that contributed. And Lamar struggled the first half. He didn't play well. He wasn't passing the ball very well either in the first half, and they kind of got back to the roots of him running and kind of got it going. So that was a bad prediction on my part.
Next up, Packers 49ers. You said that. Go bold.
The Packers are going to upset the 49ers.
Oh, A plus. So you weren't.
I think we give him this one. That one counts.
He
gets the point.
I agree.
My God.
I mean, I can't believe they didn't win that game. I was sitting there watching it. I'm astounded. First off, you get 6 points on 3 trips to the red zone in the beginning of the game. That should never happen. Then you blow that opportunity on the field goal to take a 7-point lead, and worst case scenario, you go to overtime. It just everything that could go wrong at the end of that game went wrong. They should have won the game. They were the better team that day. I'm not saying they're the better team, but in that game, they were the better team.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a case to be made? You talk about the Lamar slow start and then how San Francisco played. And maybe having that, like, you clinch the first number 1 seed and don't play anybody. And it's tough because, like, you don't want to play everybody in week 18. They get hurt and you look like an idiot. We've seen that before. But it did feel like both teams were a little sluggish out of the gate.
Yeah, and Green Bay did the one thing you have to do to beat San Francisco. They block them.
You block them, you beat them.
You beat them. You know, that's the way it is.
Maybe Detroit. Detroit's got a good blocking team. Interesting. All right, Buccaneers and Lions. You said that.
This one's going to get loose too. So I think you're going to see the 2 quarterbacks throw combined for
8 touchdowns.
6
passing touchdowns. That is a lot. All right.
6 passing touchdowns. 3 each.
Almost. We got 5.
You get a half point there.
Yeah. That was
half
good.
Point's fine.
3 each, and Baker actually threw for 3.
Yeah. And I thought, if Gibbs doesn't rip off the long run, who knows? You might get the other one there. But I think that Baker played well. I love the way he played.
Baker was awesome.
The interception at the end of the game, who knows if they're going to go get another touchdown anyways. I mean, long odds against it, but he had Godwin if you go watch that play, he has him right on the left to that, clearing and open. All he has to do is throw it to him, and he's got a first down at about 15 yards, and off they go.
Yeah. The Baker's great. He's back in Tampa Bay, right?
Has to be. They want him back. Of course. Yeah.
He should want to be back.
Yeah, he wants.
Although I will say, I think that with Dan Morgan being hired as Carolina's GM, there's a non-zero chance of Dave Canales going to Carolina. Just a hot take. They were together in Seattle. Thought.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who do you think gets hired by the Panthers?
Tough. I mean, it's hard to pick who these guys are going to get. I mean, they interview 40,000 people now. Remember, it used to be you'd interview like 3 guys and pick one.
Yeah.
Now they bring in 10. I mean,
it's crazy.
And by the way, if I was doing the interview, that's what I would do, because I'd pick the brain of everybody and steal as much as I could from every single guy that comes into that room. Seriously.
I believe you. That seems like a smart move and something you would do. Both of those things.
I just said with you got an NFL head coach who I mean, an NFL coordinator who's been in the league for a long time, or even an innovative young one, and they're sitting in the chair next to you, and you pick their brain for 10 hours, writing down stuff, and if you don't hire them, then you have all their stuff.
Yeah, it's like the scene from Silicon Valley when they bring the guys from Pied Piper and they're like, yeah, we want to acquire you. So you can tell us about middle out compression. And they're like doing it on the whiteboard. They're like, no, keep going. Yeah, that's
remember.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, this is a shame. It's a shame because actually, no, there's no real reason it's a shame, but you said this about the Chiefs and the Bills. Chiefs Bills bold prediction.
Bold, huh? We need something bold. How about this for bold? Dalton Kincaid has a better game than Travis Kelce.
Ooh, that's spicy. That's very Breachian of you because that's doable given how they've played.
No.
You're going to have to shake it off. Going to have to shake it off.
That was bad. Shake it off. That was bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think they used Kincaid enough. I don't think Dalton Kincaid got used enough.
You know what's funny though is that Kincaid did lead the Bills in receiving, so it's not like he didn't do anything in the game. It's just that Travis Kelce had a monster game because his brother and Taylor Swift were there.
Hey, also because they busted a coverage when he went for a touchdown. That was terrible.
And they threw that little screen to him to get that second touchdown. They're like, you know what? Let's get him that record just in case he retires and we lose. We got to make sure he goes home.
It's pretty wild how just really spread out both teams were in terms of receiving. You had Kelce 75, MVS 62, Rashee Rice 47. Nobody had more than 50 receiving yards for the Bills. That's wild.
Well, they would have had 50 on one play if Diggs had caught it.
Yes.
In his hands.
Do you think that Stephon Diggs is on the Buffalo Bills in 2024?
They need help. He doesn't run that well anymore. And not that he ever was a burner to begin with, but they need help. That should be priority number one for them is getting.
They haven't invested a ton in the receiving. Yeah.
I mean, Gabe Davis being injured and being a kind of a flop this year really hurt that offense. Really hurt the offense.
And then Gabe Davis. Did you guys see the clip of him getting in a verbal fight with Bills fans while he's walking off the field?
And then said he was going to go to free agency. I mean, not a great week for Gabe Davis.
And then
not a great week.
Shakir has developed into he'll be a good slot receiver, but they need a threat down the field, a bigger body threat down the field. And this is a good draft to get one. There's a ton of them in it.